Albie has also healthcare. Junior doctors have accepted the pay deal.
They have accepted the pay deal, but it might mean more strikes still. This is a story in the Daily Mail, I believe. So junior doctors have accepted a pay hike of about 22.3% over a course of 3 years. It will take the base salary of a junior doctor, who I think are being changed to resident doctors now is the name for them, from about £32,000 to £36,000. I do think they probably do need a pay rise, but at a time where the Labour government is taking winter fuel payments away from pensioners, I think there will be some people who would argue, do they need to be increasing the wages of people that are unionised workers at the same time as they're taking money away from pensioners? I think a lot of viewers would be quite angry about that.
So a 22% pay rise over 2 years and some backdated rises as well. What do you think, Zara?
Well, the context is that junior doctors have seen their pay cut in real terms by 26%. So this isn't actually the full demand of pay restoration that the BMA were calling for. But if we want to recruit, if we want to retain doctors and other medical staff in our NHS, we need to pay them the wages that they deserve. And when we look at industrial action, doctors, nurses, teachers, no one goes on strike because it's the easy thing to do. Is often when there is no other choice. And we know that our NHS is in a crisis. Everyone knows that who's tried to get a GP appointment, a dental appointment, anyone who's tried to have any kind of elective surgery. So this is what we need to do to invest in our NHS. And in terms of further action, hopefully we don't see that. The independent pay review bodies are independent. They recommend pay rises. And of course, the conversation is always between trade unions and the government.
But it's whether if you start giving away these massive wedges, you end up just getting more strikes.
Well, that's not how it works.
Is it not?
It's
because people think, oh, OK, the doctors have played a blinder here. I'm going to do the same.
Well, that's not how trade unions work. They look at the paying conditions of their work, of their members, and then they go into consultative ballots. They negotiate with employers. And actually, when we look across the board, when we look at what's happened under the Tories, workers in the public sector have not had pay rises. They've had real terms pay cuts. And if we are to invest in our public services, often the conversation around inflation, it doesn't look at the corporate profits that are happening within the economy that have driven a lot of inflation. In fact, often a lot of the rhetoric is blaming workers who are struggling. We are a nation of food banks more than anything.